I'm Ryan Tankey, the Timberwolves and Lynx Chief Operating Officer, joined today by my friend Josh Bruni with Aries Tech. Josh is the CEO. We're here today announcing a first of its kind partnership with Aries Tech. And so first of all, welcome Josh. It's great to have you.
Super excited to be here. It's amazing. Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about Aries Tech.
Yeah, so we started as a foundation roughly 30 years ago, really trying to find new ways, easy ways to really optimize well-being for humans, right? And as technology advanced and we recognized there was potentially interference with the technology, how the body was operating, and learned also that we could actually capture and harness that to provide a benefit to the human body. And so we've developed the technology over 30 years and contributed of 100 scientists, 50 different institutions, really been a global effort to create this technology, and really excited to unveil, the first of its kind, arena that has this technology that filters unwanted frequencies out of the environment.
So tell us about the research. I mean, what you just said about 30 years of science and research going into this. Go back and tell us a little bit about that research and some of what's led us to these great consumer-facing products.
Yeah, it's a really interesting space, but where physics and physiology overlap, and it's very narrow field within each one. But there's this overlap of, well, how do the two interplay? How do electronic devices or wireless technologies interplay with our own physiology? And it's always a good place to start of saying our body's electric. It operates on electrical field. Mm-hmm. Your heart, your cells, your brain, they're all firing and creating signals, and that's how the communication works. But it's a very dynamic operation that's not consistent really in any way. Mm-hmm. It's ramping up, ramping down. Things are it's fairly chaotic, to be honest. Whereas
the exposure is different at all times.
Yeah,
right?
Your body's constantly moving, and like it's regulating itself constantly. And so, but it's actually at a very low frequency, very low, hertz of frequency. Mm-hmm. And then we've introduced technologies come into our environment, and we love technology. We embrace the technology. It's moving mankind forward. And this innovation, though, what are the other things that we aren't paying attention to? And one way that technology works is through a very similar function as to our body. That's how communication, mm-hmm. transfer of energy, yep. which is data is encoded to the energy, and that's how it moves through. And there's really, for most people, nothing wrong with that. Your body is constantly just dealing with these different inputs. And so what Aries does is actually allow your body to deal with them even better. And so for some people, that's a really big deal. Mm-hmm. And for some people, it's not even noticeable. For professional athletes who are always looking to get an edge, it's maybe the difference of being, here versus here.
Yep.
And so if you pay attention to the greatest, they're taking steps like this to optimize their environment.
In every aspect
yeah.
of what they do, from
yeah.
nutrition to
yeah.
The way they work out to
yeah.
any 1% edge they can get.
Absolutely.
So the first thing that struck me about the products is, one, they're beautifully designed, but two, the size. I was expecting a much larger or
yeah.
Intrusive sort of size
yeah.
technology. Tell us a little bit about the product itself
yeah.
and maybe what goes into the creation of these types of products.
I mean, great question, because had we had this conversation 10 years ago, completely different, much larger, very different, but again, with innovation, we've been able to shrink some things down. The ability to manipulate the silicon resonator that's kind of at the core of this has just gotten better. And it's allowed us to kind of make it smaller and even more effective. But there's really kind of two variations of our product today, which is thinking about space and optimizing yep. a space, and then more like an individual level. So like a wearable or something that just, can attach to a phone and really just neutralize the unwanted frequencies, or just, again, a kind of another way to enhance your environment. And so, again, kind of the area optimization versus kind of like the personal side
yep.
of it.
So, how do people purchase the product? Like, what is the consumer experience here in terms of how do I purchase, how do I utilize? Give me from a consumer lens what Aries Tech is
Yeah.
and how it works.
We provide a lot of education on the website, and we kind of touched on the science. But if you really want to go deep in the science, there's over 40 peer-reviewed published papers on our website. You can look at the patents, you can all these different things to really like understand things at how it works. And so I typically direct people to our website, which is ariestech.com, and you can start to learn and become educated, and that's also where you can purchase the product. It's the only place that you can officially purchase the product is on our website today.
We were struck, when we met your company and have met you, the mission, it's really clear about helping people. And as an organization, our number one priority is about elevating our experience, elevating, you talk about the 1% edges. We're looking to constantly improve our customer experience and our guest experience. And so what struck us was just how laser focused you were in just those marginal increases in optimization is the word. What was it about the Minnesota Timberwolves, Minnesota Lynx, and this opportunity inside of our marketplace that was exciting to you?
First of all, the market itself, this area, Minnesota, Minneapolis, is always one of those places that's in the conversation around who's doing what community is pushing things forward, trying new things, introducing. There's a lot of thought leadership here, especially in the wellness side, and thinking of ways to improve well-being. Minneapolis is usually on that list, and so
it's always one of the 1, 2, 3 healthiest places to live in
100%.
the country.
Yeah,
and yes.
You've got like maybe your Boulder, Colorado, and there's this, you kind of know who that group is. So for us, it was a target. I think for me, selfishly, there's some of my favorite players have come through here, so there's a little bit of the fan side of it, but I also just think like I love the small markets, and I don't know if we use that term, but the idea of growing up in Eugene, Oregon, and understanding what it's like, spending time in Utah, those markets, I think are special. I think community aspect, the rallying around the team and the culture that's cultivated with these small markets, just unlike anything else. And I think when you look at like attendance records that you guys have had and different things, it's just, you want to be a part of it. And so to be able to also come in and do a first of a kind with a community like that is special. And so we were thoughtful about who we approached and kind of how we designed a relationship so that we could further your mission while at the same time introducing this in this way. Yeah,
for us, this is about our players, our staff, and our guests, right? And how are we enhancing and optimizing sort of the experience that they have at all times. We're here at Mayo Clinic Square, our practice facility for the Timberwolves and the Lynx. Talk a little bit about what's being installed around us, how this is going to be executed both here and at Target Center, which is across the street. Just talk a little bit how we're going to bring this to life and make fans more safe and optimized as we go.
Yeah, so we are really excited about introducing the concept of Aries certified spaces, and this being the first official venue for that certification, and the idea being improving the spaces where we hang out, we play, we celebrate, we participate, all these different things. And so initially, we're looking at implementing all of the spots within the arena, the concourse initially, where again people are gathering, and throughout the media rooms, the player areas. That's what we're looking at first. And I think if I had my way, our ability to demonstrate how the product works at the individual level, like my ability to show you and demonstrate, here's what your body looks like in kind of a normal state, like looking at your brain, looking at your neurology, looking at your heart, again, all electric. We can really measure kind of how you're operating. How do you deal with stress? Where is the stress coming from? So the technology to do that has been around for a while and has only gotten better. So we work with top neuroscientists to actually do demonstrations. And then you can see what it's like when you use our product or our technology in that same space. So when we think about this install, this setup, it really is about creating the best possible environment. I know you guys have already taken steps with your renovations and your updates, and I had no idea, by the way, that the space was one of the older ones in the league, because I was like, this place is fresh. So,
yeah, I mean, it's a pillar for the organization. Is Target Center is one of the older arenas in the NBA. We are continually looking at opportunities to invest and elevate the fan experience, the player experience, and so for us, this was really a continuation of our, I guess, obsession to just 1% increases all the time in what our experience is for our players and our guests.
Yeah, again, that's where I felt like the alignment, it was a really, the conversations were easy, the plan came together really quickly, in a good way, not being rushed, but like, hey, this makes a lot of sense, your mission, our mission, and so the ability to work together was really great. So yeah, so again, looking at the public spaces, and then measuring, testing, understanding the other places that maybe would make sense too, but that's where we're looking at first.
Yeah, I mean, look, as we're sitting here today, these are being deployed and installed throughout our facility here at Target Center. Maybe for those watching, how many are being installed? Talk a little bit about the process of execution, and as we go through to sort of optimize those highest traffic areas.
So we're focusing on areas where, again, densely crowded areas, and then also where your current, let's say, wireless base stations would be, which would be your densest areas where electromagnetic radiation is at its highest. And so let's say probably in the neighborhood of 100 different units. Our larger area protection one, which again isn't that large, but decent size, and I think we'll expand from there, but initially, we're focused on the main concourse areas where people are gathering.
So Josh, if I'm a fan watching, and this is going to be across our channels, and if I'm a Timberwolves fan and I see this and I'm coming out to a game in a couple of weeks, a couple of months, what is something that I'm going to notice? Like, what should I be excited about as a fan, and what might I notice through this partnership?
I think right away, you'll most likely see it around the arena and the concourse. And I think it'll serve as a reminder that it's one more thing that the Timberwolves and the Lynx are doing to just think about the fan experience. You guys have done things, everything from water quality, air quality, food quality, all the different things, but some of those kind of go unnoticed a lot of times. Like, nobody knows what you've done to improve the water or the air. With Aries, you won't really notice that either, but seeing it around, you'll know that something's it serves as that reminder that you really are being thoughtful about what the fan experience is and really optimizing their well-being.
Yeah, and as your company continues to grow and as this technology continues to be more prevalent, it's going to be ever present, hopefully in the future.
Yeah, and I would say, we've done our best to think through that experience and questions, and we've developed a way for people to ask questions. Again, our website's a great resource because we spend a lot of time on educational materials just to understand what's happening in this field of research and technology, not just ours, but just in general. And then also really to help understand what we're doing here. And so we'll provide a link and information so people can get their questions answered if they have questions, or just curiosities and whatnot. So we'll make sure that information is available.
When we looked at this partnership with Aries Tech, it was much the same way we've looked at everything from food and beverage experience, where we are looking to partner with well-known chefs and bringing in the highest quality ingredients, to spaces when we're investing in new club spaces or refreshing communal spaces within the arena. It's about providing fans with the best possible experience. And so when this opportunity and this partnership and really the alignment of really values and what we're both trying to achieve, it was a no-brainer for us to jump in and look at this as this is just another thing for us to invest in and build for our fans and making the best possible game day experience for our fans and year-round experience for our players and our staff.
No, I love that. And I think as my prediction of like as the world changes and innovation and AI and all our virtual experiences continue to become more and more prevalent in our life, I think the opposite will be true too. So these real world interactions where we come together, feel each other's energy, and cheer, and we win, we lose, hopefully win more than we lose. I think those are only going to grow, and the ability to create those experiences and optimize those environments to get the most, the best possible experience, I think is only become more critical. And I think you guys are doing a good job of leading and thinking and finding all those ways to do that. So that's what makes us super excited to partner with you as well.
Yeah, I mean, look, and we're doing this at a time when both of our franchises, the Timberwolves and Lynx, are at peak, performance on the court, and also in terms of the historic attendance, right?
Yeah.
We're approaching 100 consecutive sellouts on the Timberwolves side, and at capacity every single night. And so for us to create those 1% margin opportunities to elevate and optimize experience, we've got to lean into that hard.
Yeah, no, I love that. I love that. The 1% experiences, we have a lot of athletes that have found their way to Aries Tech, and we've carved out a good space within the athletics and pro sports world, and it really is because of that. Every little point to get an edge, every little thing that I can do, and so we're excited to be a part of that journey with you guys. So thank you.
Yeah, well, thank you for the partnership. We're just getting started. This is going to be awesome. Thank you, Josh.
Thank you.